Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the J22 Report. I'm your host, Johnny Market, and I just wanted to get into a couple of things about the market. First, I wanted to get into NVIDIA. They blew out earnings, there's a euphoria, and everyone's saying AI is the future. And if you ask me, this reminds me of the 1990s tech bubble. Can never go wrong, and one thing they're miscalculating is our power grid. And this is what I'm talking about when I say I do intermarket analysis. All this ties together, and this is what the experts are failing. And right now, data centers account for like 1 to 1.5% of electricity use. And they say the boom in AI could drive up that a lot and very fast. And researchers have been raising general alarms about AI's hefty energy requirements. And NVIDIA is shipping 1.5 million AI servers by 2027. And basically, they say they consume at least 85.4 terawatt hours of electricity annual. This is more than what small countries use in a year. And this is the thing. America doesn't have the power grid for this. This is why AI in the short term will fail. Could it be the future? Yeah, I don't think it will be that widespread till 2040. That's just my opinion, but I mean, we'll see. But if you combine enormous energy costs, cryptocurrency, plus the EV, America's already having blackouts. You remember in Texas during the winter where some people died? They don't even have the power grid right now. It's very vulnerable now. And if you and Google, in this article, I'm going to post it, Google would need as much power as Ireland to run the search engine. Ireland's that's a developed country in Europe. This is huge amounts. They're throwing out, that's just Google's search engine alone. Imagine if everything was like this, or your work and everything else. And not only that, with this EV, I know they say EVs, electric vehicles, are tanking, but I still see a lot of Teslas. Elon Musk is still the richest man in the world. Electric cars are still going to grow. You combine that with AI and our current power grid, we are not going. America doesn't have, and that's why I think I don't think we're in the late stages of this bubble. I think by the end of the year, it's going to become. That's when the real problems are going to occur. And I'm just scrolling down this article, and yeah, and it said global data centers on average will add 50% to energy costs. That will keep this, just to keep the machines cool. And so there is a lot of different, I couldn't just highlight all the other things, so I'm just like scrolling. And if we decide to do everything AI, and it's going to be experienced effectively a tenfold increase in energy consumption. Tenfold. That is, we don't have the power grid for that. And that's just AI alone. That's not like electric vehicles, among other things. We don't have the power grid for that. And this is why I think, now I also see deflation occurring in the next couple of years. I think there'll be inflation first, and I think the real one, and if you look at this, I'm going to go back, Wall Street Journal, America's power grid is increasingly unreliable. If you have an unreliable power grid, you cannot do the AI revolution, where Wall Street likes it or not. And here's another one from Bloomberg. Unpredictable power surges threaten U.S. grid. Our grid is already having trouble on its own. So, and just, I've lived through the Tesla, Apple phase. I've never seen sentiment this irrationally bullish on AI. And Apple, that has come back down to earth some. If you look at Tesla, that's no longer a darling anymore. That's come down some. Same thing's going to happen with NVIDIA. And I think same thing with the 1990s. I was alive for it. And I wasn't big into investing, but a lot of those tech stocks. Now, the internet did change, but it took years, and a big bear market followed. And here's one other thing I want to get to you. Rome, I'm going to go back to Rome since at one point the Roman Empire was a theme. Indoor plumbing was actually common in the Roman Empire. It was a staple of life. When the Roman Empire fell, indoor plumbing did not become a staple or common of life again until the 1950s. Now, I'm saying that because if you look at history, there are regressions of technology. Technology isn't always expanding and growing, regardless of what you're told to believe. It's not. There are regressions, and I'm using that as an example. I'm sure there's more. It's hard to find because everything is so biased. You don't get a balance. And people don't even think of this. Most people this doesn't even come across. But I think we are going to have a regression next decade when we get deflation, because a lot of this is fueled off low interest rates. Zero interest rates does this. And when there is a currency collapse, I don't know if it's collapse per se, but when these bubbles burst, we are not going to have low interest rates. In fact, I see late this decade, or maybe even next, the U.S. will have to defend its currency. But that's what I'm saying, is that I'm using that Roman Empire indoor plumbing example, just as an example, and as an example of indoor plumbing. So that's the first thing about NVIDIA. The power grid is it's ultimately, the bubble's going to burst and it will fail just because we don't have the power grid. And if you don't have the power grid, it doesn't matter how awesome the technology is. Another one is a lot of the elites have been selling. Now, I've done videos in the past about Michael Jordan selling the Hornets. Jeff Bezos sold 50 million shares of Amazon stock. I'm not sure how much that is, but I know it's a lot. Mark Zuckerberg has also been selling a lot of Meta stock, formerly known as Facebook. If you look at these people, if anyone is an expert in tech, Bezos and Zuckerberg, they're experts. I mean, I don't know if they have PhD credentials or not or whatnot, but if you look at what they built, if anyone knows the technology sector, it's these two. And if AI was so revolutionary, going to change everything and make you filthy rich over the next couple of years, why are these two, Amazon and Meta, they would be the biggest beneficiaries of this AI boom? Why are they selling their stock? Has anyone ever just stopped to think about, why are they selling? Are they that dumb? I don't think they're dumb. I don't think they can build what they built by being dumb. So they're not dumb. So why are they selling? Now they could be in trouble, and a lot of trouble that we don't know yet. And they might have a lot of payouts to make, possible, but I don't know. But it may be because this AI boom's way overblown, or maybe they see a bubble. And so maybe I would say that's probably this. Now, probability is not, absolute. So, and then lastly, I want to get into gold. Gold made a great defense in 2000, around February 14th through 16th. I forget the exact day. Dropped below 2000, went down to 1990. Made a good, very good hold, and has come back up. And so, as I said, the floor is rising. 2000 is now becoming a floor. If you watch this channel, the floor is rising. And so I think gold's getting ready for a move. And that's very good. And I think the miners will finally benefit. But it doesn't mean it's going to come just yet. But I think it's coming within a year. I think the catalyst is probably when the Fed reverses course. Of course, there's bad economic data. So anyway, last thing I want to get into, my last video, someone asked me for financial advice. And I want to say I don't give financial advice. I just talk about my opinions on the markets. I give things to think about. Do not invest based on what I say. This is just commentary. I'm some guy on the internet. Before you invest, do two things. Do your own research. Make sure that this move is yours and you're doing it because you want to do it and you think it's a good idea. Don't do it because I said anything. 2, consult professional advisors. Always consult a professional advisor. You can consult someone like if you wanted to consult an alternative one, meaning not to the mainstream. I mean, there's Eric Sprott, there's others that you can consult, and consult some mainstream. And do not, these videos have nothing to do. I don't give financial advice. I just comment on the markets and what I see and what I'm seeing. And they're just for thought-provoking things. They have nothing to do with, remember, I can be wrong. I thought there was a top last year in the stock market. There wasn't a top. I went right through it, so I was wrong. And so don't invest based on what I'm saying. Just these are things that, I think about and you can think about and provide commentary. That's all this channel is. So anyway, hit that like button if you already haven't and subscribe if you already haven't. I hope to see you next video.